This month I decided to join a new drawing challenge created by 𝐽𝐿𝐶 Rodriguez. It's called Study September. 𝐽𝐿𝐶 has made a prompt list for us which we can follow every day with no limitations or pressure. The main idea of this challenge is to improve the drawing skills and learn more about fundamentals. We start the first day of the challenge by simplifying shapes. Simplifying shapes is very basic and also a very important thing to do in order to draw anything that you want in a correct way and also draw it easily. The objects usually have lots of details, but first we need to break them down into simple shapes and then add those details. There are some simple geometric shapes and forms like circle, triangle, square, rectangle, ellipse, etc. When you get familiar with the shapes, you can start practicing them, start seeing them in objects, and you can do that by observation with your mind's eye or by tracing the objects. Seeing shapes in objects is a fundamental skill which needs to be learned and sharpened by exercising and practicing. Once you learn how to see objects as the unity of basic shapes, you will be able to draw anything. Second day of the challenge is about value studies. Value is the darkness or the lightness of the color or hue. You can imagine a scale of any color changing from dark to light. Value is the same as tone, and it defines how light or dark a color is. For example, I am using a dark value for the shadows and light value for the lights. Light value will be used on the subject surface which is facing the light, and the surface which does not face the light will stay in a dark area. There's so much more to say and learn about value, and once you learn it fundamentally, you will be able to draw directly with them. Since the prompts of the challenge were not specified, I decided to practice as much as I could on one page of the paper. So first I represented several forms in values, and then I drew a little landscape to represent closer and farther trees by values. And lastly, I drew a crow, or maybe a raven, I'm not sure which one this is. I drew a bird, and I used values to show dark and light areas on its feathers. I drew all of it in order to get more familiar with the concept of the day, the value. The third day prompt is household object, so I decided to draw several household items. I love drawing kitchen items, so I drew a pan using dark and light tones. I wanted to draw wooden spoon and spatula, but I'm not sure if the texture seems to be wooden. I hope it does. I had a lot of fun creating this page. The first day of the challenge is about drawing a skull. I wanted to draw a human skull from different angles. First I drew the front side and I didn't draw it very well, but the fact that this was my first time drawing it has a very calming effect on me. There was something very wrong with the jaw area on both sides, but at this point I was so tired I just wanted to finish it and switch to drawing the profile. Little did I know how hard the profile view was going to be for me. I tried to draw it several times and each time it would get worse and worse. And in the end I just gave up and drew a different angle and finally succeeded. When I finished drawing it, I was still angry that the profile view was a failure, so I tried it one more time and I used the drawing technique which I'm very comfortable with, and this technique is about choosing one point of the object and build a drawing from there. I'm sure this kind of technique exists and it has a name, but I have no information about it. This is just something that I'm using since my childhood and I came up with this on my own. The result was okay enough, so I drew one more skull, which is a skull of a cow. And you might be able to see trace of my first attempt on the paper. This might sound weird, but drawing skulls is quite of a fun, and I'm definitely going to keep practicing drawing them. The fifth day prompt is perspective, and I drew a fragment of the street of one Eastern Georgian city, ⴑ The picture that I used as a reference included lots of details, but I did not have much time this day, so I simplified the task for me a little bit. For foliage, I wanted to use watercolor paper, which I have included in my self-made sketchbook, so I got several pages back. English is not my native language, so I had to look that word foliage up. This was the first time I came across with that word and I didn't know what it meant. So I found out that it represents the leaves of plants that have various colors in the sun. I'm not entirely sure if this is correct, so if I'm mistaken, please correct me in comments. I drew several ginkgo biloba tree leaves and colored them terribly with watercolor. Then I tried painting bush, which was even worse. In the end, I used ink pen on one leaf and soon I realized it was a mistake. So the whole page was the worst I did during this challenge so far. The 7th day prompt is architecture and I drew the Diani Palace, which is located in western Georgia. I have not visited the palace yet, but I've seen it in many pictures and videos. The picture that I'm using as a reference here is taken by my friend who is a photographer and a singer. I will leave his Instagram and YouTube channel in description, and I will also leave all the information about this challenge there. I finished the first week of the challenge and I can call it success. What I love about this challenge is that I'm practicing every day and trying out new unfamiliar things. I hope to film the next week's drawing sessions too, and if you would like to join the challenge, you absolutely can, even when 1 week is already past. That was it, and I hope to see you in my next or previous videos. Bye!